This isn't one of those Hollywood horror tales where ghosts haunt old studios or cursed scripts destroy careers. No, what you're about to hear is something much darker, something real. It's about power, silence, and what really happens behind the closed doors of the rich and famous. You've heard the rumors, you've seen the clips. Celebrities talking in riddles, breaking down on live TV, disappearing for months, only to return acting different. People joke about secret parties, but no one ever tells you what really goes on inside. Not unless they've seen it. I have, and what I saw during spring break last year changed me. It changed all of us. We were just college kids chasing a dream, chasing a night we'd never forget. And we got exactly that. So consider this your warning. Because once you hear what happened, you won't look at fame the same way again. This is the story of the night we went to Sean Diddy's party and saw Terrence there. Spring break in LA. That's all it was supposed to be. Me, Naomi, and Riley, two of my closest friends since freshman year, had been grinding nonstop. Finals, jobs, internships. Life had been heavy. So when Naomi's cousin offered us her apartment in Koreatown for the week, we jumped on it. We weren't rich. We weren't influencers. Just three college kids from the East Coast, trying to get a taste of the good life for a few days. And at first, that's exactly what it was. The palm trees, the beaches, the parties with rooftop DJs and overpriced drinks. We hit up Venice, took selfies at Runyon, even snuck into a hotel pool downtown. It felt like we were in a movie, living the kind of life people only post about. But LA has this strange energy to it. It's beautiful, yeah, but behind the beauty, there's this quiet thrum, like something's watching you, like the city's smiling at you, but not with its eyes. Naomi felt it first. Do you notice how everyone out here is pretending? She asked one night. Like nobody really looks happy. It's all just for the camera. She wasn't wrong. Even the parties felt off. People laughed too loud, smiled too hard, filmed themselves dancing, then dropped the act the second the phone went down. Like it was all just a role. But we didn't care. We were there to have fun, not to psychoanalyze the city. That's why, when we got invited to the real party, we said yes without thinking. It was our third night in LA. We were at a bar in West Hollywood. Chill. Dimly lit. Filled with people who looked like they stepped off magazine covers. Riley, being Riley, struck up a conversation with this guy at the bar. Mid-40s, bald, gold chain, all black suit. The kind of guy who didn't say much, but had presence. 10 minutes later, she came back with a look on her face like she'd just found out she was cast in a movie. Y'all, she said, lowering her voice. We just got invited to Sean Diddy's house. Naomi blinked. Stop playing dead ass. He gave me the address. Said we needed to be there by midnight, but there were rules. No phones, dress nice, and don't ask questions. We all laughed. It sounded fake, like one of those too good to be true Hollywood stories people make up on TikTok. But Riley was dead serious. And when we looked up the address, it was in Beverly Hills. A real mansion, gated. Private, like something straight out of a rap video. I should have listened to that little voice in the back of my head. The one telling me it was all too perfect. But we were high off the vibe. The adventure, the idea that maybe, just maybe, we were about to step into a world most people only dream about. We went home, changed, and called the Uber just before midnight. As the car climbed into the hills, the city lights spread out behind us like a glittering ocean. Riley kept fixing her lip gloss in the mirror. Naomi sat quietly, staring out the window, eyes sharp and alert. Me? I was trying to play it cool. But deep down, something didn't feel right. We got dropped off just past midnight. The Uber driver hadn't said a word the entire ride up the canyon. No music, no small talk. Just silence and winding roads, the city shrinking and darkening behind us. When we reached the address, there were no flashing lights. No line of people waiting to get in. Just two tall iron gates that opened as we approached, like they were expecting us. A man in a charcoal suit stood at the entrance. No smile, no introduction. He looked us over from head to toe, then nodded once. Phones. We hesitated, then handed them over. He dropped them into a black velvet pouch, sealed it, and handed us a claim ticket like it was dry cleaning. Follow the lights. Don't wander. Then he turned and walked away. We looked at each other, unsure, but the gate was already closing behind us. The driveway was lined with tiny flickering lights embedded in the concrete, like runway markers. The mansion at the end rose out of the darkness like a monument, sleek black glass and concrete. No visible windows, no sound. No one else was arriving. That's when Naomi whispered, "Why does this feel like we're walking into a museum or a tomb?" Riley shushed her, but I felt it too. The silence, the air. It was too still. like the night itself was holding its breath. The front doors were already open when we reached them. No one greeted us, just a long hallway glowing with soft red light, stretching out like the inside of a high-end art gallery. The music was low, not even music really, more like ambient tones, deep, vibrating bass, the kind of sound you feel in your chest but can't hum. There were people inside, gorgeous, well-dressed, silent. They mingled without speaking, sipping drinks that didn't seem to come from anywhere. They moved slowly, deliberately, like they were in some kind of trance. We walked in, trying to act like we belonged, but instantly knew we didn't. The vibe wasn't wild. It wasn't fun. It was controlled. A slow-motion dream we couldn't wake up from. Someone handed us drinks on a tray. Clear liquid, no label. Riley grabbed one immediately. I hesitated. Naomi didn't touch hers at all. Just one, Riley said, nudging me. But Naomi leaned in closer. Watch the crowd, she whispered. Nobody's drunk. Nobody's dancing. That's not a party, that's a performance. She was right. Every face around us wore the same empty, frozen smile, like they were waiting for something, like they were all in on some secret, and we were the only ones who didn't know the rules. That's when I saw him. Across the room, standing by a floor-to-ceiling window that looked out over the city, was Terrence. Not on a stage, not performing, just standing there alone. He looked exactly like he does in interviews, that smooth but strange energy, like he was thinking 10 thoughts at once. But there was something else, too. A weight in his shoulders, like he was tired of carrying something he couldn't put down. Riley grabbed my arm. Yo, is that who I think it is? Before I could answer, he turned and locked eyes with me. Not with all of us, just me. And in that moment, I swear to God, it felt like he recognized me. Like he'd seen this exact night play out before, and knew exactly how it would end. He didn't say anything at first, just stared. Then, slow and steady, Terrence started walking toward me, cutting across the room like a ghost through smoke. The people around us didn't even seem to notice, like he wasn't really there. He stopped a few feet away, looked at me, and said, "You ever feel like you walked into a place you already dreamed about?" I didn't know what to say. This house. These people. All of it. It's a rerun. Different cast, same story. His voice was soft, but it carried, smooth, almost hypnotic. "You look like you still got yours," he said. I blinked. Got what? He smiled, but not like he was happy. More like he pitied me. "Your man card." "I don't know what you mean." Terrence leaned in closer, just enough for me to hear the tremble in his voice. Like he was holding something back. "They'll come for it. They always do. Maybe not tonight, maybe not next week, but eventually they'll ask. They don't take it all at once. Just enough to make you feel like you owe them. Enough to make you dependent." He paused. "And once you give it up, you start disappearing from the inside." I stood there, heart pounding. I didn't know if he was crazy or brilliant or both. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. His entire body tensed as he looked over my shoulder. "Because he's watching you now." I turned, standing across the room, talking to someone, laughing softly, but his eyes were locked on me. Not on the girls, not on the crowd. Me. "He's already chosen," Terrence muttered. "You'll think it's just a drink, a conversation, a small request, but it's not. It's the door." He swallowed. "The first one's always the easiest. After that, you start handing pieces of yourself away like candy." I turned back to Terrence to ask more, but he was already gone, like he'd never been there at all. Naomi appeared at my side, eyes narrowed. What did he say to you?" "Nothing," I said. I lied. It was nothing. But it wasn't nothing, because Sean Diddy was walking toward us now, grinning. He approached with the kind of energy you couldn't ignore. Smooth, commanding, like he was used to people, parting ways when he entered a room. He smiled like we were old friends, even though I'd never met him in my life. "What's good, young king?" he said, clapping a heavy hand on my shoulder. "You from out of town, right?" I nodded, trying to stay cool, but I felt Naomi tense beside me. "Yeah," I said. "Just visiting for spring break. We were invited." "I know who invited you," he cut in. "And I'm glad you came. You got good energy. Real calm, balanced." He paused, scanning my face like he was sizing me up. "You ever think about staying out here? Making moves? You could go far in this town. Real far." I shrugged, forcing a laugh. "Maybe. I mean, it's LA. Everybody dreams about being out here, right?" He grinned wider. "Dreams come true out here, but only for people who know how to play the game." His voice dropped lower now, intimate, almost fatherly. "Come with me for a minute. I want to show you something." Naomi stepped forward. "We're good, actually. We were just about to leave." "I ain't talking to you." "Sweetheart," he said, still smiling, but with a sharpness in his voice that made my stomach turn. He looked back at me. "Come on, just 5 minutes." I looked at Naomi. Her eyes screamed, "Don't go." Every instinct in my body said the same thing. But I went. He led me down a long hallway, deeper into the house. The noise faded behind us, or maybe it was absorbed by the walls. The farther we walked, the darker it got. The lights shifted to red, dim, intimate. At the end of the hall was a black door. He opened it. Inside was a small lounge. Low lighting, leather furniture, mirrors, and something else. A presence. He gestured for me to sit. "You got a lot of potential," he said, pouring 2 drinks from a crystal decanter. "But potential don't mean nothing if you ain't willing to give something up." He handed me a glass. I didn't take it. "What is this?" I asked. He laughed, low and calm. "Just a drink, my guy. Chill. Don't be scared." But I wasn't scared of the drink. I was scared of what came after it, because I could feel it in my bones, in my blood. This was the moment Terrence had warned me about. It wasn't a drink. It was a test. The first offer. The first yes. The first piece of myself I'd have to give away. I stared at the glass. It looked normal. No strange color. No weird smell. Just a clear, expensive-looking liquid in a cut glass tumbler. But everything about it felt wrong. Sean Diddy was watching me. Not with curiosity, but with expectation. Like he already knew what I was supposed to do. Like he was just waiting to see if I'd break. "You know," he said, swirling his own glass without drinking it. "Everybody who ever made it in this town, they've been right where you are. Right here." He leaned back, smiling, eyes locked on mine. "You want to be great? You gotta let go of the small version of yourself. The one with doubts. The one that's scared to take risks." He nodded toward the glass. "This is just the start. A little trust, a little openness." I didn't say anything. My throat tightened. My skin itched. "Drink it," he said calmly now. "It's just a drink." But it wasn't. We both knew it. It was a signal, a choice. And something in that room, something I couldn't see, was waiting for my answer. My hand hovered over the glass. For a split second I thought about it. About how easy it would be to just say yes. Go with the flow. Become part of the machine. Maybe I'd end up famous, rich, untouchable. But then I remembered Terrence's face, the weight in his eyes. And I remembered Naomi standing in the main room, watching me disappear down that hallway with the same look my mom gave me the first time. I almost got arrested in high school. Like she knew she might never get the same version of me back. My hand dropped. "I'm good." The words felt heavier than they should have. Sean Diddy's smile didn't fade, but it hardened. His eyes lost their warmth. "You sure?" he asked. "This door don't open twice." "Then I guess I'll keep the one I got." Silence. Thick, suffocating silence. Then he laughed. But it wasn't friendly. It wasn't funny. "All right," he said, standing. "Your call." He opened the door. "Go back to your friends." But the tone had changed. I was no longer a guest. I was a disappointment. And in that moment, I knew exactly what Terrence meant. Because when you don't play the game, when you say no, they don't get angry. They get interested. Like they want to see how long you can survive without them. Like they start watching. I didn't go back to my friends. Sean Diddy didn't let me. The hallway didn't lead back the way we came. I turned around and the door we'd walked through was gone. Just a blank wall of matte black concrete. I spun around, heart thumping, breath quickening. He was still there, calm, collected, unbothered. "I tried the soft approach," he said, stepping forward. "But you're one of those thoughtful types. Think too much. Gotta feel it to believe it." "Where's the exit?" I asked. He chuckled. "You think this house got exits?" Then he pointed down another corridor, narrower, darker. A long black hallway that seemed to shrink the deeper it went. "Come on, you came this far." I should have run, but I didn't. Maybe I thought I could talk my way out. Maybe I thought I could spot the trick, still pretending this was just a Hollywood mind game, some twisted initiation ritual. But as I followed him, something changed. The lights overhead dimmed. The air got thick, heavy, like walking through syrup. The hallway pulsed with low vibrations, like something alive beneath the walls, breathing. We stopped at a single steel door, dead-bolted from the outside. Sean Diddy looked at me more serious than he'd been all night. "You keep looking at me like I'm the one you should be scared of." He placed a hand on the bolt and unlocked it. "I'm just the handler." "Handler for what?" I asked. He opened. Inside the door was nothing, just blackness. A darkness so deep it wasn't just the absence of light. It felt like it ate light. The air turned cold. Not breeze cold, deep freezer cold. I felt it crawling under my skin, sinking into my chest. I was about to speak when I heard it. Breathing, but not like a person, slow, deep, wet, like lungs that hadn't taken air in centuries. I didn't see anything, but I could feel it. A presence, massive, ancient, wrong. Sean Diddy didn't move, didn't flinch. It lives with me, he said softly. Grew up with me. At first, I didn't know what it was. Thought it was ambition. Thought it was drive. But it's hunger, pure and simple. He kept his eyes on the darkness. It don't want money. Don't care about awards. It wants submission. Wants you to hand over the last piece of yourself, the part that says, "Nah, I'm still mine." My mouth went dry as I stepped back. It needs that, he continued, over and over. To stay quiet. To stay fed. You feed it? I whispered. He looked at me and smiled. Everyone does. Some just call it different names. And if I say no? He tilted his head slightly. Then it waits, follows, don't go away. You'll hear it, feel it. In the moments you're alone. When you doubt yourself. When your back's against the wall. He nodded toward the dark room. You'll remember this place. You'll remember me. And one day you'll wish you said yes. I turned to leave, but the hallway behind me was gone. Swallowed by shadow. He stepped closer, placed a hand on my shoulder. His voice dropped, almost kind. This is the part where you stop being a boy. Where you give it over like the rest of us did. Just once, that's all it takes. He turned toward the darkness. So I'll ask you again. The air shook. Something shifted in that black space. Something moved. And then I asked him, when do you do it? He grinned. That same cold, charming grin. Whenever it gets too hungry. Whenever I feel like I'm slipping. That's when I feed it. That's when I take a man's card. I don't remember how I got out. Not clearly. One second I was staring into that room. Into that living, breathing absence. And the next I was outside, standing barefoot in the middle of a cul-de-sac. No phone, no jacket. Just me under a sky that looked unfamiliar. The mansion was gone. Not like I walked away from it, like it never existed at all. Behind me there was just a tall hedge. No driveway. No gate, no house. I stood there for a long time, trying to catch my breath, trying to slow my heartbeat. But my body wouldn't listen. Something inside me was still screaming. I wandered until I hit a main road, found a gas station, borrowed someone's phone, called Naomi. She answered on the first ring. Where the hell are you? I didn't even know how to respond. They'd been looking for me. Riley was crying. Naomi had almost called the cops. They'd waited outside the house for over an hour. Then just like that, the gate shut. The lights went off. And no one answered. They thought I left with someone. I wish I had. When I got back to the apartment, nobody said much. I didn't tell them what happened. I couldn't. How do you explain something like that? How do you tell people there's a monster in the hills? A real one. And it's not under anyone's bed. It's behind a suit, a name. A face you've seen a million times on TV. For the rest of the trip, I was quiet. Barely ate. Barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I could still hear the breathing. Still feel the air turn heavy and wrong. Still see the way Sean Diddy looked at me in that hallway. Not like a person, but like a predator who knew I was still within reach. We flew home. Riley brushed it all off like it was just a weird night that got out of hand. Naomi didn't buy it. She kept watching me like she knew something had followed me back. And something did. The air around me feels different now. Sometimes I catch movement in mirrors that disappears when I turn around. I'll wake up at 3:33 a.m. and feel it, like someone sitting in the corner of my room, just watching. Not moving, not breathing, just waiting. And sometimes in the quiet, in the in-between moments, I hear it, that voice. Not Sean Diddy's, not mine, the other one, the one from the room, the one I never saw but will never forget. It whispers, you can still come back. All you have to do is say yes. And now I understand what Terrence meant. He didn't survive that party. Not really. He just found a way to carry what followed him and keep walking. So if you ever get the invite, the DM, the whisper, the handshake, if someone tells you the real party starts after midnight, behind a gate no one else can see, ask yourself one question. Do you still have your man card? And more importantly, are you ready to fight to keep it?